Crypto markets are indecisive again. Are we gonna break 30k? What's gonna happen with Bitcoin dominance? Is it gonna continue going up, or will the altcoins catch up? Watch this video to find more about these topics. Hello guys, my name is Željko and welcome to Unsymmetric. So I drawn this chart pretty much around 2 weeks ago on Twitter, and we're pretty much following the move. So the only thing that I expected is that we have a little bit stronger impulse move up and then a sharp pullback. But since this is not happening and we are kinda accumulating in this zone, like the best possible and the most bullish scenario would be if we have a weekly close about 28k, while the most bearish scenario would be if we maybe go again, like if we get a slight pullback, then we go above it and we have a false breakout. That would definitely be a bearish move on a long term, in my opinion. Now I feel that the markets are still a bit indecisive, and if we spend like, I don't know, maybe one more week in this area, I would expect a pullback again. So if we're gonna see one leg up, I guess it should happen pretty soon. If that doesn't happen, then we might get a slight pullback, then a leg up. That's how I see this situation playing out. And then after some time, after we get the liquidity from like 30k, maybe even I think that there is a possibility to have one much stronger leg up, even close like to 34, 5k or something like that. And then we could expect a sharp decline. So I believe that this is definitely a relief valley. I don't think we are in a bull market. Even thought if we see a leg up and we hold support, I would still be pretty hesitant to go all in. And as I said in one of the previous videos, in my opinion, you should always have some cash on the side, but you should always have some crypto as well to take profits on the way up. So if you look in the macroeconomic factors around us, this is like the first time that S&P 500 is going down, while the crypto is behaving more like gold and following like the upwards direction, while S&P is falling down. But I don't think that this will last like to the previous all-time high or anything similar. I already said that if we look at the like wider macro picture, that we can maybe even get to 41k, but I don't think that is very likely to happen. And even if that happens, I expect the similar situation as we had here. We had like double top. I expect us to have at least double bottom or something similar. We're gonna see how the things play out, but these are my expectations. If we take a look at the Bitcoin dominance, we can see that the Bitcoin dominance is constantly rising, and I call for that in the majority of my videos, honestly. And the reason for that is because like the high Bitcoin dominance usually signalizes insecurity in the markets, and people want to be ready if the markets fall down, because the Bitcoin will fall much less in comparison to altcoins, and we're gonna have a sharp decline in the markets pretty soon, in my opinion. By soon I mean 1 month or so. One of the mistakes that I see that people are also doing is they look at the Bitcoin dominance that includes stablecoins and they compare it with altcoin dominance that includes stablecoins in Ethereum. And Ethereum behaves sometimes differently, and also you will have a much clearer signal if you look at the Bitcoin dominance that excludes stable coins. And sometimes it will happen that you even see the slightly opposite picture. For example, you can see the sharp decline of Bitcoin dominance, while if you see the Bitcoin dominance chart that includes stable coins, you see it as a decline. And that's the reason why you should always look into this line, in my opinion. And like once we experience the pullback, I expect Bitcoin dominance to reach 58%. Again, Bitcoin dominance that excludes stable coins. I'm not sure where this one gonna be, but I'm pretty sure that we're gonna reach at least close to this target as we were at June at 2022. So one of the questions that a lot of people ask is like when it's good time to go into alts. So the good time to invest into alts would be like either if we fall in price and we hold some of the supports, and if you see that big players are like transitioning to altcoins, you would maybe miss some gains, but you would have a much clearer signal that it's a good time to transition. And in my opinion, like it's always good to reduce the risk exposure, and that's the exact way how you can do it. Another thing that we can see is that the stablecoin dominance is constantly decreasing, so I want to address that as well. So if we take a look at the stablecoins, a lot of people are asking which ones are safest one currently, and have in mind that this is logarithmic chart, and I created logarithmic chart because I added TUSD and PAXUSD just so you can see that a lot of people are transitioning to TUSD, and usually I try to follow that as well. And usually, like when we are in a situation like now when majority of the people are transitioning to USDT, you usually want to diversify that, and I exited USDC completely. I can see that BUSD is dropping highly as well, so currently I have 50% in USDT, 50% in TUSD. I'm not saying that this is secure currently, like you should be careful when it comes to the stablecoins exposure and just be aware that if something happens that you can act fast. The one thing that is 100% sure for me is that I want to exit USDC fully due to recent events and due to continuous dropping of USDC market cap. So one of the last things that I wanted to address is liquidity maps, and the reason why I said that we can go much higher, for example, you can see that there is a lot of liquidity around 35k, is that usually markets tend to liquidate over leveraged people, and like a lot of people who were supposed to be liquidated at like 28.5.6k, they added up to their position so they don't get liquidated, in hope that market gonna bounce back and that they won't experience these huge losses, and a lot of people shorted market as well at this time, and that's specifically the reason why I expect us to take all this liquidity at least until 31.3k. Also, as you can see that during this time we have like more and more long positions building up, and that's probably the next step what will happen, especially like if you look at different indicators, we are highly overbought, and that usually signalizes a pullback at one point. The another thing which I think is interesting, it's predicted funding rate, and as you can see, for example, here we experienced negative funding rate which signalized a move up, and as you can see the funding rate is decreasing while the price is in stagnation, which is usually some kind of divergence, and I expect again the funding rate to go into negative and that we experience another leg up. The last thing that I wanted to address is like GMX data and open interest there, and as you can see the short positions are building, and usually when we get to this stage that there is a lot of short positions, it usually signalizes the good time to long the markets. I also explained this much more in depth in one of the previous videos. I will link it here. So if you have any questions, feel free to write them in the comment section below. I am looking forward to hear what's your opinion on current markets. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Stay strong and healthy. Bye.